Welcome to the humming of the honeybees, a tranquil journey into the quiet countryside designed to help you drift into a restful sleep. If you enjoy this story and the peaceful atmosphere it creates, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can enjoy more content just like this. Before we step into Barnaby's world of gentle bees and lavender fields, we'll begin with a short breathing guidance to help you relax and prepare your mind and body for a calm night's rest. If you prefer to jump straight to the story, you can find the chapter timestamps in the description below. Now, find a comfortable position, lying or sitting, and let your body sink into a place of ease. Gently adjust your pillows or blankets until you feel perfectly supported. Let your shoulders relax and allow your body to melt into the surface beneath you, letting go of the tension of the day. Think of warm golden light, slowly melting into honey, soft, sweet, and naturally comforting. This time is for you, a chance to quiet your thoughts and let yourself drift towards rest as you slowly breathe. Let's take a few calming breaths together. Gently breathe in through your nose as though you are taking in the sweet scent of lavender. Then slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing all that you wish to let go of. Feel the gentle hum of the bees, soft and rhythmic. Imagine the golden honey warming you from the inside. With each breath, allow your body to grow more relaxed, like a flower unfurling under the sun. Imagine your mind as clear and spacious as the open sky over Honeywood Valley, ready for a peaceful and restorative night. If you notice your mind wandering to the day, that's perfectly okay. Just allow your thoughts to gently float by, like soft clouds drifting in the blue sky, and softly bring your focus back to your breath or to the sound of my voice. The story is about the slow, simple beauty of life, the care given to even small things, and the way in which two people can find love in the midst of it all. Let it carry away any worries, fears, or doubts as you listen to the gentle rhythm of the narrative. Now, let's begin our journey into Honeywood Valley, where the sweet humming of the bees and the quiet of nature await to guide you into a peaceful and restful sleep. Chapter 1. The Morning Ritual. The first light of morning began to paint the sky a soft, pale blue as Barnaby felt his body naturally begin to stir. He could feel the gentle warmth of his blankets as he slowly stretched, each movement easy and without strain. He took a deep breath, letting the cool air of the morning fill his lungs, a gentle invitation to the day. He could hear the soft cooing of the doves outside his window, their song a familiar comfort, and he was filled with a sense of quiet anticipation for the simple rhythms of the hours ahead. He eased himself out of bed, his feet finding the familiar warmth of the worn wooden floorboards beneath him. He moved slowly towards the window, feeling the coolness of the glass against his fingertips as he opened the curtains. A soft golden glow began to filter into the room, illuminating the space with its gentle light. Barnaby observed the way the sunlight touched his furniture, soft and muted, and felt a sense of gentle warmth settle into his chest. He moved quietly to his old wooden table, feeling the smoothness of the wood as he placed his hands on its surface. He began to prepare his morning tea, the familiar sound of the kettle filling the room with a soft, whistling song. The scent of his favorite herbal blend, chamomile and lavender, filled the air, its calming aroma a gentle promise of the day to come. He watched as the steam rose from the cup, its warmth wrapping around his hands and bringing a feeling of gentle comfort. He slowly brought the cup to his lips, savoring the first sip of the fragrant tea, noticing the way it warmed him from the inside out. He took a second long sip and let the flavors fill his mouth, a soft honey note making him smile quietly. With the quiet warmth of his tea gently settling in his stomach, Barnaby made his way outside to his apiary. The air felt fresh and cool against his skin, and he could feel the soft grass beneath his bare feet as he walked the familiar path towards his bees. The sounds of the morning slowly surrounded him. The gentle chirping of birds, the soft rustle of leaves, and the quiet humming that grew as he approached his apiary. He breathed deeply, letting the subtle symphony of nature fill his being, noticing a deep sense of peace settle over his body. He moved slowly as he entered the small fenced-in area, and the gentle hum of the bees became more prominent, each gentle sound like a tiny pulse of life in the morning light. Barnaby could feel the warmth of the morning sun on his skin as he approached the hives, each structure weathered and familiar. He placed his hand gently on the side of the first hive, feeling the gentle vibrations within, the soft hum a message of their work beginning. He allowed himself to notice the gentle movements of the bees as they moved, soft and small, in the morning light, feeling deeply connected to their busy lives. He carefully opened one of the hives, the soft sounds of the bees becoming more vibrant, but still calming. Barnaby observed the patterns in the honeycomb, each one a delicate work of art, feeling the subtle movement of the warm air escaping the hive. He took a slow, deep breath in and felt the sweet scent of honey and beeswax softly fill his nostrils. With a gentle touch, he moved the frames, checking the health of the hive, feeling a quiet sense of purpose and care as he noticed each bee diligently doing its work. He noticed the first blooms of lavender near the apiary and felt a familiar, soft feeling in his chest. The colors were pale and soft in the morning light, and he was moved by the natural beauty surrounding his space. He touched a petal and noticed the fuzzy softness of the leaves, and thought about how he was always drawn to simple beauty. He felt his body relax even further as the sun rose higher in the sky, its gentle warmth feeling safe and nurturing. Barnaby closed the hive, his heart full with quiet gratitude for the simple beauty of the morning. He sat down on a small, worn stool, feeling the texture of the wood beneath him as he watched his bees gently move in and out of the hives. The sun grew warmer, the soft sounds of the morning filling the air, and he felt a profound sense of peace settle over him. He felt himself smiling as the morning slowly warmed, and he was present in the subtle magic of each passing moment. Chapter 2. The Lavender Field. The sun climbed higher in the sky, its warmth now gently caressing Barnaby's skin as he finished his morning observations at the apiary. He felt a soft sense of contentment as he slowly walked back toward his cottage, the gentle breeze rustling the leaves, a soft murmur accompanying his quiet steps. The world seemed to slow as he moved, each sensation more vivid, more present. He noticed a familiar urge, a soft invitation to expand his apiary. The gentle hum of the bees, the soft colors of the lavender, and the quiet magic of the morning drew him towards a specific place, the lavender field just beyond the creek. Barnaby gently made his way toward the field, feeling the soft grass beneath his bare feet. The sounds of the morning accompanied his soft movements, and the sweet scent of wildflowers filled his nostrils, making his heart soften. As he walked, he became aware of the warmth on his skin, the gentle way the air felt against his arms, a soft and inviting sensation that soothed his senses. The soft light of the sun filtered through the leaves, and he noticed small bursts of purple along the path, the soft heads of the wildflowers beckoning him forward. As he approached the lavender field, the familiar scent of the blooms became more intense, a calming and fragrant perfume that gently wrapped around him. He could see the rows of lavender stretched out before him, their soft purple hues painting a beautiful landscape in the morning light. The gentle buzzing of the bees mingled with the soft whisper of the wind, creating a tranquil symphony that seemed to emanate from the field itself. He felt his shoulders relax as he allowed himself to take it all in, his body slowly moving closer. He paused at the edge of the field, feeling the warmth of the sun on his face as he observed the scene in front of him. He could see someone moving slowly amidst the lavender rows. He moved forward at a slow pace, his eyes noticing the way the light danced around the soft figure. As he drew nearer, he observed a woman tending the blooms with gentle hands, her movements deliberate and fluid. He observed the soft curve of her body as she bent to tend the plants, the sun reflecting off her light brown hair, and felt a soft warmth move through him. He felt his feet slow as he approached, his gaze soft as he quietly watched her work, her hands moving in the calmest way as she tended to the lavender plants. He could feel her dedication and care in each subtle movement, a deep understanding of the life within the field. The soft rhythm of her work was a gentle melody that washed over him, and he was captivated by the way her focus was present with each gentle touch. He felt drawn to the soft light surrounding her, to her presence, and slowly continued forward. As he got closer, she turned, her gaze meeting his, her smile gentle and welcoming. Barnaby moved slowly as he introduced himself, his voice soft and calm. He felt a sense of ease in her presence, a recognition that was unexpected and yet familiar. She responded with an easy grace, her voice as calming as the gentle breeze through the lavender. She extended her hand to him, and his met hers gently. He noticed the soft smoothness of her skin and the small speck of earth beneath one of her nails, and felt an unexpected sense of familiarity and ease. She introduced herself as Clara, the owner of the lavender farm, and she extended a gentle invitation to walk with her through the rows of lavender. Barnaby quietly agreed, and he moved at her pace, his body relaxing as they began to wander together amongst the rows. The soft perfume of lavender filled the air around them, its calming scent a gentle invitation to relax and let go. He moved slowly beside her, her body a gentle moving presence in his vision. He felt a sense of ease in her presence, a soft recognition in his soul. They moved in gentle unison, the soft hum of bees mingling with their soft footfalls on the earth, and Barnaby felt the slow rhythm of their shared walk deeply within him. Clara gestured to the bees, gently making their way through the lavender blooms, and Barnaby shared about his apiary. She moved to a pottery studio, a soft wooden building at the back of the field. He could feel his heart swell with gentle peace as she spoke about her connection to clay, and he recognized in her the deep love he had for his bees and for the gentle rhythm of nature and for what it is that makes a simple life beautiful. Chapter 3. Gentle Hands, Gentle Hearts. The afternoon sun began to soften as Barnaby and Clara moved from the lavender field to Clara's pottery studio. Barnaby's body felt relaxed and open as they entered the small wooden structure, the air inside cool and still. The walls were lined with shelves filled with ceramic pieces, their earthy tones and gentle shapes creating an atmosphere of warmth and peace. He moved slowly, his gaze drinking in the scene, the way the light reflected off the gentle glazes, the rough texture of the shelves, the soft curves of the pots. Clara slowly moved towards her potter's wheel, and he observed as she gently touched a lump of clay. He felt drawn to the stillness in her body as she centered herself, and he watched as her hands, light and purposeful, began to shape the clay into a soft, round vessel. The slow rhythm of the wheel, the soft sounds of the clay as it moved through her fingers, drew him deeper into the present moment. He could feel the gentle ease of the space, the way the afternoon light created a warm halo around Clara as she worked, a sense of natural purpose he knew so well. She offered him a gentle invitation to try his hand at the wheel, and Barnaby approached slowly, drawn to the texture of the cool clay. He felt the softness of the moist clay in his hands, the smooth and wet feel against his skin. Clara moved his hands, showing him how to center himself over the wheel. He felt her warm hand on his as he slowly adjusted the clay. There was a quiet comfort in this new experience, and he was grateful for the sense of learning and connection that had begun to grow between them. He focused on the way the wheel moved and felt himself soften further into the rhythm, finding a sense of gentle ease and quiet focus. With Clara's gentle guidance, he was able to slowly shape the clay into a small bowl, its edges imperfect but filled with a sense of the care and intention. He felt a sense of quiet pride as he stepped away and observed the finished piece, its form a gentle mirror to the slow rhythm of the day, the work, and its gentle beauty. Clara placed his piece next to hers. They moved towards a nearby work table, and Clara began to prepare a pot of tea. The familiar scent of chamomile and lavender filled the air, a soft, comforting aroma he knew well. Barnaby watched her as she moved, her movements gentle and sure, a natural grace in each act. She carefully poured the hot water, the soft sounds of the liquid and the clinking of pottery filling the quiet space. He felt his heart grow softer as he shared in the quiet routine. He looked down at her hands and felt her kindness in the simple action of brewing tea. As they settled into two warm chairs, the gentle warmth of the teacups warming their hands, they began to talk, sharing their passions and the quiet joys of their lives. Barnaby described the intricate dances of his bees and the sweet rhythm of his days, and Clara spoke of her connection to the clay, the way the earth could transform with the touch of a kind hand. They moved into a comfortable stillness, both of them at ease as they spoke, listening as much as they shared. Clara picked up a glazed mug, its color like the soft purple of the lavender, and offered it to Barnaby. He noticed the soft lines in the glaze and felt the warmth of the mug against his palms. As he slowly brought the cup to his lips, he felt a soft, gentle gratitude fill his chest. He knew this mug was more than just a gift. It was a representation of the gentle connection and growing understanding that had slowly blossomed between them in the short hours of the day. The afternoon slowly moved toward evening. The soft golden light of dusk began to fill the studio as the conversation slowed, yet the sense of ease and connection deepened. As they sat together in the soft silence, sharing a quiet understanding, Barnaby knew that this was a place where he felt seen and known, a place where gentle hands met gentle hearts, and a quiet new rhythm began to unfold. Chapter 4. The Sweetness of Sharing. The next morning arrived with a gentle golden light as Barnaby slowly stirred in his bed, feeling the warmth of his blankets against his skin. He could hear the soft songs of the birds outside his window, a gentle invitation to greet the day. His body moved easily from his bed, his mind settling quickly on the image of Clara's pottery studio and the kind look in her eyes. He could feel a gentle pull in his heart as he thought of her, and he felt a familiar sense of gratitude as he remembered the sweet, shared mug of tea. He moved through his morning routine with a sense of quiet anticipation, preparing his tea and slowly observing the morning light as it filtered through his windows. The gentle scent of chamomile and lavender filled his kitchen, the aroma familiar and comforting. He could feel the warmth of the mug in his hands, and he began to imagine what it might be like to share such a quiet moment with another. He took a slow sip, and his mind returned to Clara, and a soft idea bloomed in his heart. After tending to his bees, Barnaby found himself drawn back towards the lavender field, his steps light and easy. The air was filled with the gentle hum of bees and the sweet fragrance of lavender blossoms, and he felt his body naturally begin to slow as he moved towards her studio. He could feel a soft smile move across his face, his body relaxing into the anticipation of their time together. He noticed the pottery and its familiar shapes and could feel his own heart swell with creative possibility. As he approached the studio, he could hear the soft sounds of Clara at work, her quiet presence creating a soothing rhythm in the still morning air. He paused for a moment, taking a slow breath and feeling the warm sunlight on his face, sensing an understanding and peace he hadn't anticipated. He felt her kindness deeply in his soul, in her tender care of the blooms and gentle attention to her craft. He moved with slow purpose towards the open door, his heart soft and open. Clara looked up as he entered, her smile as warm as the morning sun, and a wave of gentle ease washed over Barnaby as he moved towards her. She had finished several small honey pots, each one adorned with delicate lavender blossoms, their colors mirroring the gentle hues of the field and capturing its gentle essence. The smooth texture and soft organic shapes felt familiar and pleasing in his hand. Clara quietly explained that she had designed these specifically for his honey, and Barnaby felt a wave of tenderness move through his heart her kindness like warm honey, sweet and inviting. He took one of the pots in his hands and noticed its soft curves, its gentle design, and was filled with a sense of purpose. He could feel the softness of her touch in each delicate detail. He was moved by the way she offered her artistry with such a generous and loving heart. Barnaby then took a basket he had carried in with him and offered Clara a small collection of his honey and honeycomb, its colors a rich amber, the texture a delight. He carefully explained the different honeys and the soft ways the bees had collected them from different blooms. She took the basket into her hands and touched a soft piece of honeycomb, noticing its delicate structure. As her eyes met his, they both knew that they were sharing something much more precious than sweet honey and glazed pottery. They were exchanging love, care, attention, and a shared understanding for what makes a simple life, a gentle life, so very beautiful. Clara and Barnaby found a space on a soft wool blanket near the edge of the lavender field and slowly prepared a small meal of tea, fresh bread, and cheese. They talked quietly about the shared beauty of their passions. He gently described the bees and how they worked, and she talked about the earth and how it felt to mold it into functional forms of beauty. They shared a slow walk through the meadow as the twilight began to descend, their presence offering a soft and kind energy to the natural world. Chapter 5. A Tapestry of Quiet Moments. The days began to settle into a gentle rhythm as Barnaby and Clara continued to share their time, their lives intertwining like the threads of a soft, well-worn blanket. Barnaby found himself waking each morning with a sense of gentle anticipation, his heart opening softly to the possibility of each new day. He moved through his routines with a deeper sense of purpose, knowing that his efforts were now woven together with Clara's creative heart. The hum of the bees seemed brighter, the scents of the meadow sweeter, and his own inner world was opening to include someone new. They spent hours working side by side, Barnaby tending to his bees while Clara crafted her pottery. Their shared focus created a soft and welcoming energy in each space. He watched her movements with quiet admiration, feeling the same deep connection to her art as he felt to his own. She moved slowly and with a measured grace that was both calming and inspiring. He noticed the gentle strength in her hands, the tenderness with which she engaged with the clay, and felt her purpose with every measured touch. Sometimes they would simply sit together in comfortable silence, sharing the peace of the natural world and feeling the gentle pull of the earth beneath them. Barnaby noticed the patterns in the bark of the trees and the way the light danced on the leaves. Clara would watch the bees gently move from bloom to bloom, her heart feeling full with the quiet joy of living this soft, simple life. The gentle sounds of nature and their own presence were a constant and welcome invitation to calm. One afternoon, as the sun began to set, they were walking together by the stream when Clara stopped, her eyes fixed on the way the light reflected on the water. She gestured towards the patterns formed by the soft sunlight, the gentle movement of the water, and the soft golden glow surrounding everything. She asked him if he saw what she was seeing, and Barnaby noticed her attention and felt a wave of tenderness move through his chest. He realized she was offering him the deepest part of her heart. Barnaby smiled and moved close to her, their bodies now naturally comfortable beside one another, and he began to describe the way the light changed and how it warmed the colors in the water and created soft, gentle patterns on the surface. As they sat together, observing the beauty of the sunset, a quiet sense of wonder filled them both. Barnaby felt her gaze on him, and he noticed the soft beauty in her eyes. In that shared gaze, he saw a life waiting to unfold, and felt his heart soften further into the possibility of a gentle love. They returned to Clara's pottery studio as the evening began to unfold, the soft glow of the lanterns illuminating the interior space. Barnaby watched as she began to glaze the honey pots, her hands moving with a gentle grace and care, each movement precise and measured. The slow movements, the warm colors, the gentle scent of the kiln warmed him from the inside out. Clara took his bowl from the shelf and smiled as she held it in her hands. She turned to him, her heart open, and gently offered his bowl back to him. He received it in his hands and felt the imperfections, the places where his hands had molded the clay, and he recognized this small bowl as a representation of something new that had been born within him. He placed it back on the shelf in her studio, a quiet recognition of the soft connection that had so naturally unfolded and with each passing day grew more sweet. He knew he was deeply drawn to the quiet joy they shared and the simple rhythms they were building together. As the moon began to rise, they made their way back to the lavender field, their bodies moving slowly through the meadow, now painted with the soft silver light of the evening. The air was cool and calm, the scent of lavender still lingering in the night air. Barnaby and Clara walked in silence, their hands brushing against one another, each touch a gentle promise of the love that was softly, tenderly, and naturally unfolding. Chapter 6. The Rhythm of Love. The moon shone brightly overhead as Barnaby and Clara reached the edge of the lavender field, their bodies moving together in a soft, comfortable rhythm. They paused for a moment, taking in the beauty of the night, the quiet hum of the crickets, and the gentle rustle of the leaves. A feeling of deep peace settled over them both as they stood side by side, their hands finding each other naturally. Barnaby felt her fingers interlace with his and was moved by the depth of gentle love that now filled his heart. They walked slowly through the field, the soft moonlight illuminating the lavender rose, their movements as fluid and gentle as the breeze. The scent of lavender was still present in the night air, its calming aroma a soothing invitation to rest. They walked in quiet rhythm, each step bringing them deeper into their shared space, an understanding of love without words growing more profound with each passing moment. Barnaby felt his heart swell with tenderness as he thought about the gentle space that had opened in his life since meeting Clara. Reaching the small wooden bridge over the stream, they paused again, listening to the soft sounds of the water flowing beneath them. Clara turned to face Barnaby, her eyes reflecting the gentle glow of the moon, her soft smile inviting him in. He reached his hand to touch her face, feeling the soft smoothness of her cheek. He noticed the gentle curve of her lips, The kindness in her eyes and the deep calm that rested at the core of her being, he recognized in her a reflection of his own soft, gentle nature and the depth of his own tender heart. He moved slowly towards her, his heart opening to her fully as he leaned in and kissed her softly, gently, a tender touch that felt both new and deeply familiar. The moment was still and beautiful, a silent promise of all that they were ready to share. They lingered in the soft embrace, their bodies now perfectly at ease, their hearts sharing a gentle yet profound connection that only the quiet love of kindred spirits can create. A quiet yet expansive sense of peace washed over him, and he knew with all of his heart he was meant to be here, with her. As they walked slowly back towards the pottery studio, they began to softly discuss their hopes for the future, their dreams now overlapping, blending and intertwining with each step. Clara expressed her vision of expanding her pottery studio to include a space for Barnaby's honey, creating a place where their crafts could harmoniously exist together. Barnaby's heart swelled with gentle appreciation as she described her vision, recognizing her deep love for his own craft and for the natural world. He gently shared his own dream of creating a new apiary next to the studio, a place where their bees could flourish in the midst of her beautiful lavender. He wanted to share this part of himself with her, to tend to the bees beside her, to experience a life interwoven, connected, and growing into its own tender beauty. As he shared his vision with Clara, he felt their love grow with soft intention. Each idea filled with a gentle hope and the calm of two hearts becoming one. They reached the studio, now bathed in the soft, warm glow of the lanterns, the quiet space a perfect reflection of their intertwined hearts. They moved slowly inside, each touch now holding a new depth of meaning. Clara began to pack her supplies as she began to softly describe what it would be like to build their new studio and apiary. She described the soft colors, the natural materials, the beautiful landscape surrounding their home, and she looked up at Barnaby, her eyes sparkling with gentle, quiet hope. Barnaby watched her move with such purpose and love and offered his hands to her as he shared that he already knew in his heart that they had arrived home. Clara's gaze softened and she held his hands with a tender heart, her smile as warm as the soft glow of their lanterns. As they settled together in the quiet space, they both knew that their journey of love and healing had led them home to one another. The gentle hum of the honeybees had finally guided them into the soft rhythm of love, a gentle, sweet, and beautiful new beginning.